Greetings and good day, everyone. Welcome to the third virtual Thursday presentation of 2020. And we're going to go ahead and get right into this thing today. Today, we're going to have as presenters myself, Mark Wolf, lead international trainer. We have McKelroy on with us. He's our lead trainer. And we have a couple regional trainers helping us out because we do have a fairly large crowd as of right now. Michael Bazzoni is assisting us. Greg Simmons is assisting us. And we've got our product owner for the occupancy module with us, Will Pernett, and he's going to make a presentation here in just a little bit. Want to first just remind everybody of your training opportunities. Our virtual Thursdays, they're free, of course. First Thursday of every month at 1100 hours Pacific time. We have online training that's available in 3-hour blocks. We can customize that to meet your needs. On-site training opportunities, where we can come into your department and present training that you need. And regional training academies. And speaking of the regional training academies, we do have a large number of them we're going to pull off this year. We've got one in the books. And we are going to be in Jacksonville, Florida, March 17th through the 19th. Kansas City, Missouri, April 7th through the 9th. Spokane, Washington, May 5th through the 7th. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, June 9th through 11th. Temecula, California, June 23rd and 25th. Austin, Texas, July 7th and 9th, 7th through the 9th. And we do have a full list. We have another number of them continuing out through the rest of the year that's available at this website, emergencyreporting.eventbrite.com. And please join us for those. We have a good time, and you'll learn a great deal about how emergency reporting works to get the best advantage for your department. One thing we're going to do, I also want to remind you, you can go to our what we call our marketing website, which is emergencyreporting.com. Go to Customer Success Training and Learning Center, and you can see a full listing of all the regional training academies there. And if you need more information, you can email us at training@emergencyreporting.com. We are going to continue with a series of virtual Thursdays trainings over the next few months dedicated to the occupancy module. This is our plan. It may change, but right now we're planning on it April 2nd, reviewing the occupancy settings. May 7th, go through the occupancy tab by tab, including how to conduct your inspection and record it. June 4th, we're going to review permits. And then July 2nd, we're going to review the Vision product, which will get you through your OVAP scoring system. Want to let you know that our product team, after we pushed this product out as an update last week, has heard and listened to customer feedback. We got a couple bugs that we're going to talk about as we go through it that we're working on. And I want to just remind you too that we are planning on to do a deploy tomorrow morning that should take care of most of these items here that you see on your screen now. An issue with the master occupancy permit print page. Our occupancy inspection tab does not handle the null dates. Our first name of the contact displays only on the replacing the occupancy dialog. We've got a few issues with looking at the system occupancy specifically on Internet Explorer 11. We have an issue with the bulk assign inspectors not showing all the options. The inspection schedule time and the when you're trying to schedule a single inspection specifically cannot be selected. And we cannot edit some of the text in the fire protection system fields. We've got an issue also when we're copying the master tenant. And that seems to be happening in international accounts only. Of course, like I said before, those bugs should be fixed on a rollout deploy tomorrow morning sometime. And we'll be talking to you about that here in a little bit in some more detail if he has that. Got a few features that are going to be added due to customer feedback. So we'll show you this here in a little bit. Will's going to give you a demo of what's going to get pushed out, but you're going to have the ability to adjust the occupancy grid row height, the font size, and the column order. You'll be able to hide columns. We're going to move the basic search back to the top of the columns and have that advanced search is going to stay in the Actions tab, which is new for us. You're going to get back the total occupancies viewed on the page. For example, you'll be able to see when you filter maybe your list that you're viewing 16 of 500 occupancies. The occupancy search results will stick. So we're going to get that capability back. And there's going to be a new feature in the settings for an inspection email. Default message can be customized away from that standard message that you see today. So that's a new feature that's going to be pushed out. So that's a few things that we're working on, and we want to just update everybody to, I'm going to actually switch over to my training account, and we're going to let Will Pernett jump in and talk to everybody about what's happening with our new look and architecture. Will, do you want to go ahead?
Sure, Mark. Is it on time? Would you like me to go step by step through some of the changes that we're making here and share my screen, or do you want me just to give an overview at this point? For those that are joining us today, thank you very much for being here. My name's Will. I'm a product owner here at Emergency Reporting, and I thought I would just take a few moments to kind of share with you why we made some of these changes to the occupancy module and how that's going to affect modules in the future. The main reason for making these changes is for security purposes. We have to constantly be on guard for hackers and keeping your data safe, and so upgrading the platform is on our list of things to get done in order to do that. And so in so doing, we have had to go to a different design system that we can maintain and keep up to date. And by doing that, it does give a bit of a different user experience that you may not be used to. But we have listened to your comments since we've put this out, and we understand that there's some definite workflows that we're missing out of it. And as a response to that, I'll be given a small demonstration of the new things we're going to be putting out that you're used to seeing that will help you on your daily inspections. So that will be coming up here shortly.
Okay, thanks, Will. Appreciate that. So we're going to review and take a look at the current state of the occupancy module. I know many of you folks have some comments about that. Please put your questions in that question section down there, and we'll respond to them. Some of them we're going to be answering as we're going through the presentation today. So this is the new view of the grid. Here it is, of course, in that B6 architecture like Will was just describing. So some of the changes that we have is that we now have a search button available at the top of the page here. When we select that, you'll see that we have the quick search at the top of that page, and you can use more than one field on this. And then at the bottom of that, we have the advanced search that we can scroll down through and again use the advanced search if you're looking for archived occupancies. That is down here at the bottom like it was before. And then here is that searching archived or active occupancies, archived, both active and archived occupancy, which is pretty useful for you. Now, one of the changes you're going to see, and will give you a demonstration of this in a little bit here. And I know there's already been one question up there. If we do a search out here in the grid, I'm just going to put a street number in and we apply that search filter. It will search by that particular number, but if we go look at an occupancy and then go back into the grid, you can see that that search has went away. We call that a sticky. Now that's one of the big capabilities that's going to be coming back to this. In addition to that, like it is in the legacy view of the occupancy module, the search fields will be displayed right below the column titles here, and that'll be pushed out in an update, and Will's going to give us a demonstration of that in just a little bit. So that is one of the new features that we have here. Our actions button at the top of the page now is where we'll find our add occupancy. We do have access to the advanced search from the actions. The CSV download is located here. If you have mapping, you can do your Google Earth export from the actions, and also a couple of bulk operations, assign inspector and to print are available under the actions. Now, if you do have the map view option, you do have the button at the top of the page. That's why you see it in this particular account, because we do. When we select the map view, that's what we get. And Will, you might want to take note that that will not go away at this point.
Yeah, Mark, if you just hit the actions tab again, it'll disappear.
Oh, okay, gotcha. As you can see, some of us don't have all of our work done in getting up to speed with everything in the grid yet. Now, one thing you can do with the grid as it is in the current stage, you can see, you can size the columns, and you can see, like I just did, you can sort ascending or descending by selecting in the field name at the top of the page. And one of the things you're going to see tomorrow, and we'll go over this a little bit, there's going to be a little gear icon right next to the actions button at the top of the page. And with that, you'll be able to do several operations with the columns, such as you can hide them, resize them, and that'll all be a sticky that will stay until you change it then down the road here. So that's coming as soon as I can get that deploy done tomorrow. And I believe that's about everything. All the same columns are present here in the same order. You just may have to use the slide bar at the bottom to go over to them. And again, as of that deploy tomorrow, you can customize this a little bit more than you can today. Now, a couple things that we can let you know that are coming down the pike here a little bit is when you select the inspections button currently, it will stay in what I call the legacy view. And that is still being developed and will be worked on as soon as Will and his team can get to it. We'll go over to the permits. The permits was upgraded a while back, and we're going to go into this more detail in a couple months when we do that special presentation on just permits. So we're going to leave that go for right now. If you do have our Vision product, if we're going to switch over to it, you can see it is still in the legacy view. We haven't got to it yet. And then the settings. This was pushed out as an update a few weeks ago. One of the big changes that I saw and I like with this quite a bit is the fact that we now have all these settings grouped. You've got a grouping for your occupancies. You've got a grouping down here for your inspections and for your permits. And one of the updates that's going to come out is just like the permit email subject that we pushed out a few months ago, you're going to have an inspection email subject that will be right over here in the inspections column at the bottom of that, or you can customize that message on your email subject that's going to be going out when you email your inspection form. And that's upcoming here. That's a nice feature to have. And we're going to go over to reports, and you can see the reports are still in the legacy view, and that will be worked on again as soon as Will and his team gets to it. They're having to go through the system one step and one page at a time, essentially, right now to get us there. So I think that's all I really have to cover here. Does anybody need to jump in and talk about any questions that we have out there?
Mark, I've got one here from Ruth. She's asking about the archived occupancies. Said they couldn't search. Can you show that on the screen, please, to go and look up your archived occupancies or search for those? In the advanced search, I think it's down at the bottom left, I believe, where you can drop that down. Is that what you were talking about, Ruth, or are you not getting anything there? Okay, she said yes, but they're not getting any results. Ruth, if you would shoot me an email and we'll look into that one-on-one there. My email should be on the screen or in your message there.
Yeah, Ruth, include if you guys are in a commercial, what we call a commercial account using the .com site or an Ultra
Yeah. Yes, please.
As you can see, it worked in the .com site. I just saw one of the questions I want to address as well, if I can, Mac. I'm going to clear my search parameters and go back to the grid for all the occupancies. Let me do a little sorting here. And one of the things that we used to be able to do, I saw this was being posted there, and I know several people have sent in a support ticket about this, is we used to be able to do a double click in this row to open up the occupancy. That does not work anymore. You do have to come over and select the pencil to edit it, just like I did there, and then we can go into the occupancy record itself. So that is a change. I failed to mention that before out there. And I saw a question that just screamed past actually about what are we doing with the master tenant stuff. One of the things I can do, and this is a question we get quite often, let me go into the quick search, and I'm going to go off the name. I recommend, there's only one way to do this. This is not the only way to do this, but a quick way to do it is include the name master for a master tenant or master occupancy and search for that. And then you'll see in here, I'll move this column over a little bit. You'll see I've got that name master behind several of these here. That's how we can find those. And then we can actually look up, just take our ID number. Such in this case, I've got a 24230. I'm going to clear my search parameters, use that number. And we'll go back to here. We're going to remove the name master and the ID. I'll type in that number 24230. Apply that search filter, and you'll see off of that ID number. And you know what? I may have taken all my tenants out of there as we were playing around with this a little bit. Let me try a different one of those. And this is what we mean about that sticky too. When you come back in here, if you look at the auction, you come back, the search criteria will go away for you. Let me find another master record that should have, oh, I left the name master in it too. Oh, I thought, okay, let's, oop, I take that out. There we go. I do know what I'm doing actually. Getting to it, and we're going to do this. Use that number right down here, 1103. So clear the search parameters, go back in here. And as you can see, that's not changing in here. Will, can you make a note of that, please?
Will do.
Okay, so here's, then we use that ID number for the master. We put it into that search, and wherever it finds that text match down here, it will pull that up. That is one of the quickest ways to do the occupancy master tenant relationship. And another item that I'm going to point out to you, if you want to use that way to find them, I'm going to go in and show you in your pre-fills. So for a master occupancy, a pre-fill, you want to make sure that you select ID and add tenant number to the end of the master ID number. And even if you have current occupancies that are set up without using those pre-fills for the tenants, you can change that and then go in and change all those tenants with that number and be able to do that search like I just showed you there, how that works. So there we go. We'll go back out here and see if we need to go to any more questions out there. And a lot of questions I'm seeing, actually, if you weren't here right when we first started, we reviewed a few items, and Will is going to be demonstrating the features that are going to be pushed out with the deploy. And the hopes is that's going to go out tomorrow morning. Now, tomorrow morning may be a little subjective depending on where you are. Like I'm in the Eastern time zone, and our office is out in the Pacific time zone. So, Will, is there a projected time that we're going to do that tomorrow?
Mark, we're looking at trying to get that out in the morning hours, probably Pacific time. So probably around 9 or 10 o'clock Pacific time.
Okay, so that'll be a good gauge to go by. If you want to check back after about 9 or 10 Pacific time, you may see the updates that Will's going to show you here in just a little bit. So, Mac, Greg, or Michael, do you have any questions we need to jump in and talk about?
Mark, as far as what I'm seeing, a lot of them are what we'd say features or look into different things, adding and doing. If you would, for us to keep from saying the same thing basically all the way down, listen to what Will is going to be discussing and showing you here shortly. I think that's going to answer a lot of the questions that with the new update coming. Other things, if it's not covered in there, guys, if you would just go to the feature request, in the system and request those features. It's not something we're getting so many, we really can't, answer all of them. We've got tons of questions right now, and we want to make sure we get something to you that just may not come as an answer here, but hopefully we can answer it online or either through the feature request, feature suggestions.
Yeah, and what we'll do to everybody attending out there, since we have so many attendees, we've got about 178 of you out there with us right now, and we're getting a lot of questions. We can scrub through all the questions, and when you post one of those, it throws it into a spreadsheet, actually, and we can pull those out as appropriate and send you an answer. So I will work on that tomorrow in between a couple of appointments that I have, and we'll try to get you information out. If we didn't get an answer to you today, look for that tomorrow. And I saw one on here right now from Ronnie. It says, firefighters don't like change. Well, unfortunately, change is inevitable, and for the reasons Will explained before, essentially it boils down to increase security for the site and your data to move over to the V6 architecture. And that's something we need to do and need to continue to do throughout the whole entire system. And our teams are working very hard on that. And they've, again, listened to customers, and they have a lot of things we're going to push out with that update that's going to go out hopefully between 9 and 10 tomorrow morning Pacific time. And you can be looking for them then. So what I'm going to do now, though, Will, if you're ready, he's going to go to one of our special sites that we use for all of our dev work. And he's going to present now on some of the updates that are coming out tomorrow. Ready, Will?
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
Okay, I'll change presenter to you. And you should have that, and you should be able to just select OK to it, and we got your screen right there.
All right, let me make sure I got the right screen here.
Where's your Kanban board?
Yeah. Let's try this one here. Sorry about the delay here. Just want to make sure I get the right screen up. Is it showing the correct one yet, Mark?
We were there, and now we're not.
All right. Okay. There we go. How about that?
There we go. That's the one. Perfect.
All right. Sorry for the delay, everyone, on that, but I have the right screen up now. And so I'm going to take a little bit of time here to show you some of the improvements that we're going to be pushing out. Now, a lot of these things are going to look very familiar to you, as this was functionality before we put out our change last week. There'll also be a few new things I'll go over that I'll show you. The first thing I'd like to start with is just the return of the basic search on top of the grid. That should look familiar to you. Again, you have all your drop downs here that you can search by. You can search for multiple columns to bring back results. And if we do that, it will bring back those results. And now when we go to do an inspection or edit one of these occupancies, we can navigate back to the search results, and those search results will stay until you clear the parameters up here. So another nice thing about these columns is that not everybody may want to view these columns. They may want to order the columns. So now you can actually click on a column and drag it to the location that you would like, just like this. And that can help you organize your columns a little bit better in your views, especially when you're working on a smaller device. Along with that, we added to the top of the screen here back the functionality of showing how many occupancies that you're actually looking at on your page. So when you do a search or you actually are scrolling down your occupancies and new occupancies load, you can now see that you're viewing 100 of 220 occupancies. So this is very helpful when you all are searching and you want to know how many particular occupancies are on a search. So that is going to be added back into the functionality as well. Additionally, we added some new functionality to help with the grid view in itself, especially when you're working on a smaller device. So we have a new gear icon over here, which gives you some options, if you click that, for some grid layout settings. So we have two settings. We have compact and comfortable, and then this little graphic down here describes what it looks like. So this would be compact, this would be comfortable. This is the view of it. So on a comfortable setting, if you're in your office or in the station, you have a big computer monitor, this is nice to have. You can see things a little bit bigger. If you're working off a laptop or a tablet, you can select compact view, and that's going to make things a little bit smaller so you can actually see everything on the grid, which will keep you from having to scroll left to right, which I know is a big complaint. Additionally, we can order our columns, and we can decide that we can hide columns. So if you don't need to know the station that it's with, you can unclick that. You can unclick ID if you're not interested in that. And you can also come over to the side and you can drag the columns into whatever order you'd like to see on your grid and hit save. And that will automatically update the columns on the grid. Now, when you do this, sometimes, like me, I forget that I've hidden columns, and so we've added a small display up here that tells you you're displaying 7 of 9 columns, which reminds you that you have some hidden columns. So these are the crux of the changes that we're going to be putting out in order to better assist you in doing your inspections and looking at your occupancies and bring back some of that that functionality that went away on the last deploy. Mark, that concludes my presentation, and I can go ahead and switch the show back over to you.
Okay, Will. Hey, thanks for that. And we're just actually right now we're just going through a lot of the questions on here, and I know we've been busy answering some of them already. And
Mark, if you don't mind, this is Mac again. I've had a few, we mentioned the feature request. Can you show where to go to put those feature requests in, please?
Absolutely. So we should be back on my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks, good. All right, so what we'll do is we're going to go onto our support page. And we'll go to support. We are going to log in to our support page. And what we're going to do is at the top of the page, you see we have a few links up here. The one in the middle there is community. This is our community forums. This is where our feature requests, and we call them feature suggestions, are now managed. So in feature suggestions, you can select that box. And you come in here and see what feature suggestions or requests we have. I really haven't looked in this very much at all in the last few weeks, but this is a report. Let me go down here and see if we find so a download of advanced search results for occupancies. And what you have is Garrett put this in. He's got a idea suggestion posted up here, and then there's actually some comments down here. We've got Greg, one of our new trainers, is put that on here a couple times, and you see they've had a little conversations about it. Now, one thing you do have with all of these feature suggestions that you put in is the ability to put in comments, your own comments, and also we vote by using these up and down arrows. The important one is the up arrow. So if we're logged in here and we select that up arrow, you can see that will increase the vote count. And it's just one of the factors that our development team, folks like Will, use to consider the application of a new feature suggestion into the system here. So that's where those are. And what I would recommend that you do before you go ahead and throw one in here is do a search on them. So I'll just put the word result in as a keyword search. And you can see here, we've got feature suggestions. We just searched on that word result. Your idea, the thing that you may be wanting to suggest, may already be in here. So take a look there first before you duplicate that, and you can look at that one and then maybe put some votes in on that one instead of starting with 0 votes out there. So here's one, looks like he's looking for inspections result for zone. This is in the feature suggestions. Check that out with the pathway here. And you'll see we've got just 3 votes on this. That really has to go up quite a bit from there. And you can see some of the comments that are down here for this particular feature suggestion. So that's how you would accomplish that. Don't hesitate to do so, and we'll go back out to the community forum main page. And don't forget about, we have the other sections in here. The ones that get the most traffic are questions and answers, and then feature suggestions. You can see the number of posts that are in there. So please go ahead and use those, and you as a customer can help other customers out perhaps to let everybody know your little trick to the trade or your secret on how you're using your emergency reporting account. So guys, do we have anything else that we need to jump in and address immediately? Getting crickets so far, so I know they're probably busy answering some questions. And again, tomorrow we may get.
Hey, Mark, can you hear me?
Those. Yes.
Yes. Hey, Mark. Yeah, this is Greg. Hey, one question I did know, it's probably, it was specific to what iOS version do we need? It's probably more general for any of the web browsers out there. It's probably a question for Will. Any of these updates or changes, are they requiring any updates to web browsers?
Well, I can answer. This as Will. I can answer that to a certain extent. So if you are using iOS, you just always want to make sure you're on the most up-to-date that your device can handle. That will help with a lot of any issues that you may be having. And then I will find out and get the information back to you, Greg, and for everyone on what the minimum device level is.
Yeah, we do actually have a knowledge base article out here. I'm going to attempt to find it if I can quickly. And if Mac or somebody knows where I can find that quickly, I think it may be in the frequently asked questions, actually. Let me go check it.
What are you looking for?
We do have a listing of what browsers and versions are recommended to use. I thought it may have been here. I was going to try to find it real quick.
Yeah, I was thinking that's where it was, but I'm not for sure now.
Let's go back out here. We'll go back to the knowledge base. Bear with us here. Let me search for the word browser. And we'll see what we come up with. Here we go. I knew we had one. Supported browsers and devices. And this has been updated recently. So you see there's a list here for different browsers like Internet Explorer version 11 or higher, Edge, Firefox, Chrome, Safari. And if we come down here, we can look at for iOS. And then for InspectDR and down below here, I thought we had a section on tablets down here. Oh, here we go. Mobile tablet. Be that one that I just skipped right on past. So this is something I think this is what Will was saying. He's going to verify this and get any updates to this, so we can perhaps update this if it isn't correct. So for tablets, iOS 10 or higher in Safari.
Mark, I was also, somebody's asked about way to review this information. I did post an answer, but we'll just let them know that this will be posted. Virtual Thursday will be posting webinars on demand under the knowledge base and support here. So probably, what, Mark, tomorrow afternoon at the latest Monday morning, something like that.
Actually, it should
You gonna
be
try to get in there sooner?
It will be done by noon Eastern time tomorrow.
Okay.
About in
And
our
then,
knowledge base in the webinars and demand section, I'll navigate there so everybody can see where that is. If you go into the knowledge base and you grab your scroll bar and go all the way down to the bottom, webinars on demand, you're going to see that right at the top of this list by noon Eastern time tomorrow. It's this presentation. We'll do a little bit of editing to it, and then we'll get it thrown out there.
and then also some of the other features that we were talking about that Will went over. They will be a video and stuff coming out tomorrow. So when it goes live, you should see the video up on your screen as far as a new update or something in there tomorrow after the new version hits the live. So you'll be able to see that video and watch it. It's about 6 or 7 minutes. We've already made that, just waiting for it to go live so we can put that out to everybody. Just
Okay.
sort of a demo of the new features.
Thanks, Mac. And again, I'm going to spend some time here looking, reviewing all the questions. And if we have not responded to your particular question, you can expect an answer by noon Eastern time tomorrow is our goal. So if we haven't got this out to you, we do hope to. I just saw a question by David. I just answered this. I think it's a couple other questions came in for this, but he's talking about the CSV download is not accurate. It's displaying all occupancies. That's a known bug, David, and is in the queue to be worked on to get that issue resolved. And Ruth, I will get an answer to you. I will personally research that for your department and see what's going on with that, and we will get an answer to you about the results in that advanced search. And does anybody else have any other things that we need to review or go back to a screen and demo that they're looking at right now? And I am not hearing anything from my coworkers out there. So I'll give you one last shot. If we don't have anything from any of the people helping me out here, Mac, you have something?
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, I know we've got a number of questions in here that it's mainly dealing with, requested features or some things, either that of the new features that requesting that stuff or asking what was going on with that. So a lot of the questions will be answered when the update or be taken care of with the update. So
perfect. Thank you for that, Mac. And I saw a couple other ones that are not specifically addressing the updates to the system, and we will go through those and send you an email and get you an answer. I've got one, somebody asked a question about a report, and we'll find a report for you and send you that via email, hopefully again before noon Eastern time tomorrow.
And I've got one from Kenny. Can we go over the new update? Kenny, there will be a new video coming out when the update comes out that's going to have a demo on there. If that's good there, he was asking, because that is not technically out yet. I believe that's what he's talking about, the update for tomorrow. Is that correct, Kenny? Yes, okay. All right, so, and then there'll also be this video on the webinars on demand by tomorrow at lunchtime, so Eastern time. All right.
Okay, any last words of wisdom for us, Will Pernett?
I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who joined us today. I appreciate your patience. And again, we are taking feedback and listening to the issues that have come up and making changes to solve those issues. So again, I appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
Okay, I want to also thank all the trainers that are helping out today and our product owner, Will Pernett. And we're going to go ahead and put this one in the record book. Thanks everybody for attending, and we will be back on the air next month with our fourth Virtual Thursday presentation. Thank you much. Have a good day.